cultivated first time in India 600 years AD. So in Europe, the first cultivated fungi, the mushroom, was introduced in the 17th century. So mushrooms are nothing but these are the fungi only, okay? So it is one group of fungi. So what are the characteristics of the mushroom? So before going to the what is the nutritional value and medicinal value of the mushroom, so what are the characteristics? So generally these mushrooms, in Telugu they are called as a puttagodugu. Okay, so these mushrooms, they same characters like the fungi. So they lack the chlorophyll. So generally fungi, they lack the chlorophyll. So due to absence of these chlorophylls, they cannot synthesize their own food materials. So these mushrooms, they obtain their nutrition either by saprophytic, that is by the dead organic matter, by observing the nutrients which from the dead organic matter, or parasitic or symbiotic. So they varied widely in size and shape. So here the different types of mushrooms, and the size of the mushrooms are varies. Different size, some are smaller in size, and also the color also varies in this mushroom. Some are white color or some brownish. So different colors and shapes. So mushrooms may be, here the mushrooms, it may be edible or non-edible, or some are medicinally important, and some are poisonous mushrooms also there. And some are miscellaneous, so in nature. So here the mushrooms, they may be edible or it may be non-edible. And some are medicinally important, medicinal mushrooms. Some are poisonous mushrooms are also there. So they are recycle dead organic matter like animals and leaves and return the material back to the soil, because here we already first only discussed that. So generally they obtain nutrients from the saprophytes. So here they recycle the dead organic matter. So it obtains nutrients by growing onto the food sources or secreting enzymes to digest the food externally and absorb the nutrients. Okay, so mushrooms, generally they grow in anywhere like the cool conditions or humid places or dark environments like forest, soils, basements, and floors. So they can grow in anywhere like the cool places or also in the dark places, mainly in cool and dark places. They prefer mainly cool and dark places. So the mushrooms spores are spread by animal feeding through the wind and also in other ways. So here the propagation, so through the spores. So once they land on a amenable, that is suitable surface, they start to germinate and grow the mycelium or microscopic rooting thread. So the structure of the mushroom. So when we discuss about this mushroom, the structure, so it contains cap-like structure. Okay, so cap, it is called as the pileus. It is the color may be varies like white, gray, or yellow, and the shape of the cap may be varies, like it may be a umbrella shape or kidney shape or cap, like depending on the species. So it contains a stipe. So before that, below the cap, it contains a stipe. That is called as the stem. So stipe, it is a stem-like structure that supports the pileus. Okay, pileus, and transport the nutrients from the substrate to the other parts of the mushroom. So this stem or stipe mainly helps in the transport the nutrients from the lower part to the all the parts of the mushroom. And next, another one is the gills. So this is stalk-like structure. So it contains the gills. So the tissues that produce the spores. So here in the gills region, so here the spores are produced. So mainly helps in the production of the spores. And here the base, it contains the mycelia, that they absorb the nutrients from the substrate. So this is the basic structure of the mushroom. So it contains upper cap-like structure or pileus, and it is followed by stipe, stem-like structure, mainly helps in the transport of, that is a transport of nutrients from the lower part to upper part. And next here the gills. So the main function of the gills, and that is which produce the spores, and here the mycelium. So they absorb the nutrient from the substrate, mycelium. So these are the basic parts in the mushroom. So next one is the here the nutritional value of mushroom. Okay, so mushrooms, they are becoming popular not only for their flavor and also the taste, but for for their nutritive value because they contains many nutrients. So mushrooms, they are rich in proteins. So in the mushrooms, proteins are present, dietary fiber, vitamins and minerals, and moderate carbohydrates and less lipids or fats. Okay, so generally, we use this mainly for the flavor and taste, but also here they contains the nutrients also, like they are rich in proteins, dietary fiber, vitamins, minerals, and less amount of carbohydrates and less lipids. So mushroom, it is considered to be a complete, healthy, and low calorie food. Okay, so it is a complete food. It can healthy food and also it contains low calories food that is suitable for all age groups and occupy a place between the meat and vegetables. So it is not it is a non-vegetarian. Okay, it's not a veg. So it is placed between the meat and the vegetable. So mushrooms, they are nature's hidden treasures of the nutrition. So many people like them for their satisfying meaty, tasty, and their versatility. So for thousands of years, these mushrooms have been used in Eastern medicine for their various health benefits. So mushrooms, generally they are used in the medicine. So here they are the good source of riboflavin, that is a vitamin B2, B5 and B3. So in the mushrooms, B2, B5 and B3, that is riboflavin, pantothenic acid and niacin are present. So mushrooms, they provide rich addition to the diet in the form of proteins, uh, carbohydrates, fiber. So valuable salt and vitamins are also there. So they are used as a functional food, as a nutrient supplement to enhance the immunity in the form of tablets. So here these mushrooms, they are also used as a used in the preparation of the tablets. So to as a nutrient supplement. Okay, to enhance the immunity. So due to low starch content and low cholesterol, so it should be consumed by diabetic and heart patients also. They generally, doctors prefer this for the diabetic and heart patients, so they prefer this mushroom. So mushrooms, they are polysaccharide content. In the mushroom, the polysaccharide content, which is used as a anti-cancer drug and also used to treat HIV effectively. So here they have the medicinal value also. The biologically active compounds from mushrooms, they possess antifungal, antibacterial, and antioxidant and antiviral properties. Okay, so here the generally in the mushrooms, the chemicals which are present in these mushrooms, they have the antifungal, antibacterial, antioxidant, and antiviral properties. So mushroom cultivation can be a good source for income for housewives, retired persons, and unemployed persons, and even the students. So it is easy to cultivate. So some care to be taken. So these are the different types of mushrooms and their nutrient value. So here mainly here we are concentrating on the edible mushrooms like paddy straw mushroom, oyster mushroom, white button mushroom. So here the nutritive value of the paddy straw mushroom, they contains carbohydrates, that is 54 grams of carbohydrates, and fiber is 5.5 grams, and protein 37.5 per 100 grams, so it contains 37.5, and fat less amount, that is 2.6, and ash 1.10, and calorie 305 calories. Oyster mushroom. So here the carbohydrate is 63.40 and fiber content 48.60 and protein content is 19.23 and fat 2.20 and ash 6.23 and calories is 412. So here when we compare these different edible mushrooms, so here mainly if we mainly concentrating on the protein contents. So here paddy straw mushroom, they have the high content, that is 37.5% protein content. Next, button mushroom. So based on these concentration also, nutritive value also, we can prefer different types. So mainly for if we are mainly concentrating the protein diet, proteinaceous diet, so we can prefer this paddy straw mushroom or button straw mushroom. So if we want carbohydrates, we can prefer this milk mushroom. So if we want less fat content, so we can use oyster mushroom. If we want mainly and less fat content, so we can prefer this oyster mushrooms. So this is the protein content, Padistra. That is protein content. Fresh mushroom, they contain the 4.9 and dried, they contain 28. Oyster 2.7% and here in the dried 19.8. So we can use this fresh mushrooms or dried mushrooms also we can use in the preparation of food. So nutritional value of fresh mushroom. So the fresh mushroom, they contain 91% water and 3.7% protein and 2.4% carbohydrates and 0.4% fat and 1.5% vitamins and 0.6% minerals. So if we take a fresh mushroom, so it contains 90. So more amount of water content is present. And next one is the proteins. 3.7% proteins and 2.4% carbohydrates and less amount of fats. That is 0.4% and vitamins 1.5% and minerals 0.6%. So dry mushroom. So the nutritional value of dry mushroom. So protein, the crude protein content of edible mushroom is usually high than many other comparable fruits or vegetables. So when we compare to fruits and vegetables, so these edible mushrooms contain more amount of protein. Okay. So the protein content of mushroom varied from 12 to 38% depending on the species. So here we already discussed this. So different types of mushroom, they contain the, so some values may be varied. Okay. So depending on the species, so some contains high amount of proteins and in some less amount of protein. So the protein content is high in Padistra mushroom, that is 38%. Then followed by the button mushroom, that is 34% and shiitake mushroom 33% and oyster mushroom 20% and milky mushroom 18% and winter mushroom 17%. So mainly when we want to protein diets, we can prefer this Padistra mushroom, that is it contains 38% proteins. So next one is the carbohydrates. So the mushroom includes various carbohydrates like pentoses, hexoses, disaccharides, amino sugars, sugar alcohols, sugar acids, and but less starches. So they contain various types of carbohydrates are present. So the total carbohydrate content in the mushroom is varied from 30 to 75% on dry weight basis in different mushrooms. So the carbohydrate content is high in winter mushroom, followed by milky mushroom. Next, oyster mushroom, that is 63% and Padistra mushroom 55% and shiitake mushroom 47% and button mushroom 46%. So here based on the species also, here the carbohydrate concentration, it is also content is varied. So here high percentage of carbohydrate is seen in winter mushroom, that is 75%, which is followed by the milky mushroom. So next one is the crude fiber. So the crude fiber composition of the mushroom consists of partially digestible polysaccharides and chitin. So the fiber content of the mushrooms varied from 3 to 30% depending upon the species. So the fiber content is high in shiitake mushroom, that is 29%, which is followed by the button mushroom, here 21% of crude fiber is there. And in oyster mushroom, 15%. And Padistra mushroom, 5.5%. And milky mushroom, 3.4%. So here also based on the species, so here the crude fiber may varies. So high content of the crude fiber is present in shiitake mushroom. So next one is the lipid. So edible mushroom, they also contain free or less level of fat with high proportion of polyunsaturated fatty acids, mainly that is linoleic acid. So cholesterol is absent in mushroom. Instead, they contains the ergosterol. So that act as the precursor for the vitamin D synthesis. So the total lipid content in mushroom, which is also varied from 2 to 8. So in the generally 2 to 8% of lipids are present in the mushroom. So the fat content is high in milky mushroom, followed by shiitake mushroom, that is 3.7%, and button mushroom 3%, and oyster mushroom 2.7%, and padistra mushroom 2.6%, and winter mushroom 1.9%. So high percentage of lipids are seen in that is milky mushroom. In milky mushroom, high content, that is 4%. So next one is, so along with the proteins, carbohydrates, fibers, and lipids, so amino acids also present in the mushroom. So the free amino acid composition, which differs widely, but in general, they are rich in threonine, valine, lysine, and tryptophan. So these are the main amino acids which are present in the mushroom. That is threonine, valine, lysine, and tryptophan. So next one is the vitamins. So along with the amino acids, proteins, carbohydrates, so in the mushrooms, vitamins are also present. So mushrooms are excellent source of different types of vitamins. Okay. So like here, it varies from 1 to 1.5% depending upon the mushrooms. So they contain high amount of vitamin D, that is calciferol, vitamin D, and vitamin B complexes, vitamin C, that is ascorbic acid, and reasonable amount of vitamin A also, retinol, and E, tocopherol, and K, phylloquinone. So here it is a, if we take this, if we take this as an dietary use, so we cannot take it is no need for any medicines also. Okay, so because it contains I mean all types of vitamins are there. So vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A. So the vitamin B complex mainly, that is B1 thiamine is there, B2 riboflavin, B3 niacin, B5 pantothenic acid, B7 biotin, and B12 cobalamin. So here these all types of B complex vitamins are there, the A, C, and D, and K. So it is a multivitamin. Okay. So next along with these vitamins, here the minerals also there. So mushrooms also good source of different minerals. That amount varied from 0.5 to 1% on the dry weight basis. So depending upon the mushrooms. So the phytonutrients are minerals like potassium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, calcium, and magnesium. So biomolecules also. So like, so the mushroom, they are the source of biomolecules or bioactive compounds, such as phenolic acid compounds, phenolic compounds, terpenes, steroids, and polysaccharides. So here it contains, mushrooms contain. Okay, so mushrooms, they contain nutritionally, proteins are there. So that is here the protein content is, that is 12 to 38% of the protein content. And here carbohydrates, 30 to 75% of the carbohydrates, and 3 to 30% of the crude fibers, and 2 to 8% of the lipids, and some amino acids like threonine, valine, lysine, and tryptophan. So vitamins, mainly here the different types of vitamins like vitamin that is 1 to 1.5% depending upon the mushroom. So the mushroom mainly contains high amount of vitamin D and B complex vitamins, vitamin C, and vitamin A, and E, K. So these all are present in the mushroom. So because it is nutritional, hence it is nutritionally important. So along with these vitamins, minerals are also present like phosphorus, potassium, iron, sodium, calcium, and magnesium. So biomolecules like phenolic compounds, terpenes, steroids, and polysaccharides also present in the mushrooms. So next one is the we already discussed. So mushrooms contain more protein content, that is about 40% than many other comparable fruits or vegetables. So mushroom is considered as a protective food. So if we take for mushroom as a food, we cannot take no need for doctor also. So the less caloric value of mushroom due to moderate amount of carbohydrate with less sugar and without starch, which is considered as a ideal food for diabetic patients. So these edible mushrooms have the little fat with high proportion of unsaturated fatty acids and absence of cholesterol. So it is a relevant choice for food for heart patients. So these mushrooms, they are mainly preferred for the diabetic patients and also for the heart patients. So the absence of cholesterol in mushrooms shows hypolipidemic and hypocholestemic and anti-hypertension effects. So the minimal sodium with rich potassium content in the mushroom, which enhances the salt balance and also maintains the blood circulation in the human. So hence the mushrooms, they are suitable for people suffering from high blood pressure also. Okay, due to presence of low amount of minimal sodium with high potassium. And here, mostly all forms of edible mushrooms which show anti-cancer property and they can prevent the breast cancer. And mushroom, they have the antibiotic property also. They help in keeping our body healthy and protect from the diseases by strengthening the immune system. Okay, so here due to presence of this sodium and potassium, it is suitable for the the people which are suffering from the high blood pressure, and due to presence it also these mushrooms, they have also edible mushrooms mainly have the anti-cancer property, and they mainly for the prevent the breast cancer. Okay, so it also has the antibiotic property, and it also helps in the to boost the immunity also. So mushroom cultivation gives an imply. So because of these regions, so due to presence of these nutritional and medicinal value of these mushrooms, so it is generally prefer the mushroom cultivation, which give we nowadays the generally people are preferring these mushrooms. So here the demand for these mushrooms also increasing. So here, due to which here the mushroom cultivation also gives an employment opportunities in the rural areas, especially for women. So these mushroom cultivation, which is easy and simple, so it can be taken up by farmers and landless labor. So here the land also not required for this mushroom cultivation. So it is preferable for all types of people. So mushroom cultivation, it is an ideal tool for the disposal and also the recycling of the agricultural waste and also to produce spent mushroom substrate and can be utilized for the manuring, fertilizer and in the horticultural crops and also feed for the animals. So this is about the nutritional and medicinal importance of mushrooms. So some of the edible mushrooms. Okay, so examples for these edible mushrooms. So edible mushrooms, they have the little fat with high proportion of unsaturated fatty acids and absence of cholesterol. So it is the relevant choice for food for heart patients. So absence of this cholesterol in mushroom, which shows, so why these, why and based on the nutritional content only here we are preferring as a edible mushrooms. Okay. So here the absence of cholesterol in the mushroom which shows the hypolipidemic and hypocholestemic and anti-hypertension effect. So edible mushrooms. So next topic, that is the edible mushrooms. So the word mushroom, which is used for the edible members of the macrofungi. So it is a macrofungi and termed as the food of the god. So there are 14,000 species of mushrooms which are reported in the world. More than 2,000 species are regarded as edible. Okay, out of 14,000 species. So here we already discussed that here the mushrooms. So here they are different types of mushrooms. That is, some are edible mushrooms, non-edible mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, and poisonous mushrooms are there. Out of which more than 2,000 species are regarded as the edible. Okay. So less than 25 species are widely accepted as a food and only 12 species of them have been domesticated and artificially cultivated. So out of 2,000 species of edible mushrooms are there, of which 25 species are widely accepted, of which only 12 of them have been domesticated and we are cultivating only 12 species out of 2,000. Okay. So mushrooms are become popular not only for their exotic flavor or taste, but for the nutritive value. So these mushrooms, which are rich in protein, we already discussed this proteins, dietary fiber, vitamins and minerals, and carbohydrates and less lipids are present in this. So they are considered as a complete, healthy, and low calorie ideal food, which is suitable for all age group. We can all age groups and occupy a place between the meat and vegetables. So generally, vegetarians they prefer these mushrooms only as a one nutritive value for the proteinaceous food. So, what are the distinctive features of these edible mushrooms? So, presence. So, already we discussed about. So, mainly here the presence of annulus ring in the button mushroom, in the middle of the stalk or ulva, that is padistra mushroom, at the base of the stalk of the mushroom. So when we study the structure, so it contains annulus ring or stalk. So absence of annulus ring or ovoid. So here these are the some of the characteristics of the different types of edible mushrooms. So here in the button mushrooms, so annulus ring is present. Okay, whereas the here the annulus ring and vulva, which are of stalk, which is absent in oyster mushroom. And so these are the main characters. So here the edible mushroom, they are delicious taste and they are soft, leathery and woody. So these edible mushrooms not attractive or colorful, are mostly it is pleasant smell. And generally ants, insects and other animals feed the mushrooms. So here these are the some of the major edible mushrooms. Okay. So the major edible mushrooms are button mushrooms. So the botanical name is Agaricus bisporus. Okay. Scientific name, that is Agaricus bisporus, that is the button mushroom. Second one is the oyster mushroom, means pleurotus species. And another one is the padistra mushroom, that is Volvariella species. And milky mushroom, that is Calocybe indica. And shiitake mushroom, that is Lentinula edopes. And wood ear mushroom. Another one is the scientific name is Auricularia species. So these are the some of the examples of edible mushroom. So generally we prefer this button mushroom, oyster mushroom, padistra mushroom, milky mushroom, shiitake mushroom and wood ear mushroom. So these are the some of the examples of edible mushrooms. So first one, that is the button mushroom, that is Agaricus bisporus. So these are the button mushrooms. So generally we see this in the markets. Okay, supermarket we can observe these button mushrooms. So these are it is very popular variety due to its delicious taste, nutritional and medicinal value. So this mushroom is distributed worldwide and presently more than 500 species are reported in the Agaricus. So in Agaricus bisporus. So this species is the Agaricus bisporus. So here also 500 species are reported in Agaricus. Okay. So button mushroom, so they are white in color. So we can observe this in the supermarkets. So it is the first largest cultivated mushroom in the world. So many species are used as food for their nutritive value, and it contain high protein, that is 35% and 18% fiber in the dry weight. So one of the generally we prefer this edible mushroom, that is button mushroom. Agaricus bisporus. So it is a popular variety and it has a nutritional and medicinal value. And this mushroom is generally distributed all over the world. And so it is the largest cultivated mushroom in the world. The first largest cultivated mushroom in the world. And here they contain 35% protein and 18% of the fiber content. Second one is the oyster mushroom. So here the base, here the type. So based on the type of species, also here the structure also varying. Okay, so they are white in color. So here, so another one is the oyster mushroom. So it is the second most cultivated edible and it contains 150 edible varieties. So which can grow on a variety of substrates under the varied conditions in the worldwide. Okay, so second one, that is the oyster mushroom. So the oyster mushroom, they have the high food value. So it contains 63% carbohydrates and 20% proteins and 15% fiber and 2% fat in the dry weight. Okay. So second one is the oyster mushroom. So oyster mushroom, the scientific name is Pleurotus species. First one, button mushroom, that is Agaricus bisporus. Second one is Pleurotus. Okay, oyster mushroom. Another one is the milky mushroom. So they are very attractive. So it is the species of tropical edible mushroom which is native to India, and it has a long shelf life and more nutritious and shorter cultivation duration. So it requires very shorter time for the cultivation. So it is become the third commercially cultivated mushroom in India after button and oyster mushrooms. So it contains 65% of the carbohydrate and 18% protein and 4% of the fiber and 3% of fat. So when we come observe these mushrooms, so this someone, so something milky mushrooms, they are very attractive in. So another one is the paddy straw mushroom. So this mushroom, which is very popular for its taste and flavor. So there are more than 19 edible varieties are reported in the straw mushroom, and it contains 55% carbohydrates and 38% proteins and 6% fiber and 2% fats. So another mushroom, that is edible mushroom, that is the shiitake mushroom. So shiitake, it is a native to East Asia, popular as a food and medicine at the global level. Okay, so it is medicinally also important because it is also the second most important edible and medicinal mushroom, and it is eaten like the vegetables, and it contains 48% carbohydrates and 33% proteins and 28% fiber and 3% of the fat. Another one is the wood ear mushroom. So it is a jelly mushroom. So contains 62% carbohydrates and 5% of protein and 20% of fiber and 8% of fat, and fourth most popular mushroom in the world for its nutritional and medicinal value. So it is very popular ingredient in the many Chinese dishes such as the hot and sour soups, and also used in Chinese medicine. Okay, so these are the some of the edible mushrooms. So first one is the button mushroom. So it contains 35% proteins and 18% of the fibers. And the second one is the oyster mushroom. So it is the second most cultivated edible mushroom, and it contains that 63% carbohydrates and 20% proteins and 15% fiber and 2% fat. Another one is the milky mushroom. So it is it is edible mushroom which is native to India. So it has long shelf life, and it contains 65% carbohydrate, 18% protein and 4% of fiber and 3% fat. So another one is the paddy straw mushroom. So it is it also has, it also contains 55% of carbohydrates and 38% of proteins and 6% of fiber and 2% of fat. So another one is the shiitake mushroom. So it is also a used as a food and also as a medicine at global level. So it is the second most important edible and medicinal mushroom. So it is eaten like the vegetable, and it contains 48% of the carbohydrates and 33% proteins and 28% of fiber and 3% of fat. So another one is the wood ear mushroom. So it is a jelly mushroom which contains 62% of the carbohydrates and 5% proteins and 20% of the fiber and 8% fat. It is the fourth most popular mushroom in the world. So generally, it is used mainly in the Chinese dishes. It is used as an ingredient in the Chinese dishes, like preparation of soups, and also in the Chinese medicine also. So these are the some of the examples, mainly 5 examples of these edible mushrooms. That is button mushroom, oyster mushroom, padistra mushroom and milky mushroom, shiitake mushroom and wood ear mushroom. So here when we observe this, so the shape and size of the mushrooms also vary. So it has a short stalk in button mushroom. Here, these are the oyster mushrooms. So long stalk here. So based on the shape, we can identify the type of mushroom. So conclusion, so these mushrooms, these are suitable for people which suffering from the high blood pressure, and also it is good for the heart patients. So the diabetic patient choose this mushroom as an ideal food due to its low caloric value and no starch and little fat and sugar. So it is the generally it is suitable for the diabetic patient. So mushrooms have anti-aging property also. So they are capable of strengthening the immune system and also activate all kinds of immune cells. So, so here some about the button mushrooms. So here the button mushrooms, these are the most common type of edible mushrooms. So that you can buy from the general in the supermarkets. So they may not be the most nutrient rich, but they are very healthy. Okay, so generally they are used in the breakfast or dinner dishes. So their white color indicates that they are fresh and young at the age. So the button mushroom, the essential nutrients for their food mainly. They are rich in riboflavin and also that is the vitamin B2, riboflavin and also so it is necessary for the cellular function, growth and production. So button mushrooms, they are the good source of copper, selenium, potassium and phosphorus. Okay. So, according to study which involving the group of healthy volunteers, the inclusion of button mushrooms in their diet, which result in the improved mucosal immunity. Okay, so whether you like them raw or cooked, the button mushrooms will give you that mild earthy flavor. So these edible mushrooms will make your so it may be used in the preparation of salad, soups, pizza, pasta, or more delightful. So we can consume in different ways. So button mushrooms. Okay. So here it is a good source of vitamin B2, that is the riboflavin, which is necessary for the cellular function, growth and production. And also along with this, here the sodium, copper, selenium and potassium, phosphorus are also present in the button mushroom. So shiitake mushroom. So they do not just taste good though. This shiitake mushroom, they can also help to keep you healthy. Keep you healthy. So they are good for immune system and also an excellent source of copper, zinc, manganese and various B vitamins and essential vitamins and minerals also present in the shiitake mushroom. So in short, they are healthy and will not fail you in the kitchen. So shiitake mushrooms are very versatile. It is a type of edible mushroom. So another one is the oyster mushrooms. So they have velvety texture and delicate flavor. That's why so it is best to prepare them briefly in the for the rich taste. So eat these mushrooms raw with your salad, or you can also sat or stir fry and roast them using an oven. So these edible mushrooms which are rich in dietary fiber, various B vitamins, and also essential minerals like copper, potassium, phosphorus, and iron. So, oyster mushroom, they can offer a range of potential health benefits like lowering the cholesterol levels and also the supporting the immune system. So, another one is the enoki mushroom. So with their long stem and tiny white cap, so people might think that enoki mushroom, it is the bean sprout. Okay, so it's understand that, but this type of mushroom which offer the sweeter flavor than the regular bean sprout. So they are popular in Asian dishes. So the mild taste paired with the crispy texture will work well with the salad. So generally they are used in the salads, soups, sandwiches or garnishes. So when cooking them, it is better to add them last to that. Overcooking won't be issue. So but you will get the taste, their full flavor and texture. So so they contain it is a great source of dietary fiber, niacin, folate, and phosphorus. So, which is also rich in thiamine. which mainly plays in the role in the growth and development and function of the cells. So enoki mushrooms. So another one is the metac mushroom, hen of the woods. Mitak. So hen of the woods, it is also called as a mitak mushroom. So it is originally from the China, but they can also be found in different countries like Japan, United States, and also the Canada. So meaty, rich, savory flavor, and for this edible mushroom, it is best for stir fries, soups, or other dishes. So they they mainly here if vitamin D. Okay, so this mushroom they mainly contains a vitamin D, and it is also rich in the what you call vitamin sunshine vitamin, that is E. But it does not stop there, so it also packed with the riboflavin, niacin, copper. So some studies also indicate that maitake mushrooms can lower the cholesterol levels and have the anti-inflammatory properties. So this is about the different types of the edible mushrooms. So brief about this nutritional and medicinal value of mushrooms. So we already discussed that. So mainly the main content is, so here these mushrooms, it is considered as a complete healthy and low calorie food, which is suitable for the all age groups and which occupies the place between the meat and the vegetables. So mainly the mushrooms are the good source of riboflavin and pantothenic acid and vitamin niacin, that is vitamin 3 niacin. So the mushrooms, they provide the rich addition to the diet in the form of proteins, carbohydrates, fiber, and valuable salt and vitamins. So in the mushrooms, they contain proteins, carbohydrates, fibers, and also vitamins and minerals. So it is used as a functional food as a nutrient supplement to enhance the immunity in the form of tablets. Okay, due to low starch content and low cholesterol, so it should be consumed by the diabetic or heart patients. So mainly these mushrooms, they mainly prefer for the diabetic patients and heart patients and also the high blood pressure patients. And so normally it is referred by anyone. So mainly for these patients. So mushrooms, they it main important that they possess the antifungal property, antibacterial and antioxidant and antiviral property. So it is also used as an anti-cancer drug. It is also used in, so the polysaccharides which are present in the mushroom. So it is also used in the preparation of anti-cancer drugs and also to treat the HIV patients. So here this is the different content of the protein in different types of mushrooms. So in the paddy straw 4.9% and in oyster mushroom 2.78% of the proteins are present, and in white button mushroom 3.7%. So this is the content, that is the nutritive value of these different types of mushrooms. So paddy straw mushroom, they contain 54%, 54 grams of carbohydrates. Oyster 63 grams, and in button mushroom 46, and in the milk mushroom that is 64.26. So the fiber content also. So in the padistra, less amount of fiber content, less amount. In padistra and milk mushroom, less content of the fiber is present. Okay. Oyster mushroom, more amount in oyster mushroom. In padistra, 37% of protein content. In oyster mushroom, 19.23. And in button mushroom, 33.48. And milk mushroom, 17.69% of the protein content is present. Fats also. So less amount of fats in oyster mushroom and more amount in milk mushroom. And ash content also less in padistra. So calories, button mushroom, they contains high calories of high calories. So generally the nutritional value, so mainly why we are eating food, because to get the nutrients. So here mainly in the mushrooms, they contain the proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, and minerals are present. Okay. So hence it is suitable for the used as a food. So we already so protein. The crude protein content of edible mushroom is usually higher than the other fruits when we compare to fruits and vegetables. So here the protein content is high in the mushrooms. That is 12 to 38%. 38% of the protein content is present. Carbohydrates also. 30 to 75% of the carbohydrates are present, and 3 to 30% of the crude fibers, and here 2 to 8% of the lipids are present. Amino acids also. So some amino acids like threonine, valine, lysine, and tryptophan are also present in the mushrooms. Vitamins like D vitamin, more amount of D vitamin, B complex vitamins, vitamin C, ascorbic acid, and like tocopherol, retinol, and phylloquinine. So all types of vitamins also present in the mushroom. So minerals like potassium, phosphorus, iron, sodium, calcium, and magnesium are present in the mushrooms. And some bioactive compounds like phenolic compounds, terpenes, steroids, and polysaccharides also present. So due to presence of these polysaccharides only, here they are anti-cancer. They are used in the preparation of anti-cancer drugs. So this is about the edible mushrooms. So these are some of the examples of edible mushrooms like button mushroom, oyster mushroom, padistra mushroom, milky mushroom, shiitake mushroom, and wood deer mushroom. So this is about the different types of mushrooms. Okay, any doubts? Any doubts?